and there have been 3 draws. So a decided advantage goes to the United States when teams from these 2 nations meet. On the Alianza side, they are coming into this in exquisite form. They are 9 matches into the Clausura phase of their season. They're unbeaten, 5 wins, 4 draws, no losses, 19 points, has them 1 point ahead of second place Aguila. They had a 2-0 win this past Saturday against FAS. First half goals scored by Oscar Rodriguez and Marvin Monterroza, who are both in the starting 11 this evening for Alianza. Defensively, they've been terrific. Only 2 goals allowed through 9 matches. The offense has been a struggle. Can they keep that form going, though, tonight as they welcome the Philadelphia Union? Lineups and kickoff in just a moment. Time to meet the starting 11s for both of these clubs, beginning with Alianza. This Alianza team is very similar to the lineup we saw over the weekend, that 2-0 win over FAS for head coach Eduardo Lara, who took over back in November of 2022. There are 9 players in this starting 11 who also started on Saturday, but 2 key omissions from that 11. More on that as we get into the match. They will look to Rodolfo Zelaya to lead the lines offensively. Officials tonight, an all-Mexican crew led by Cesar Ramos, with Alberto Morin, Marco Vizquera as the assistant referees, and Daniel Quintero, your 4th official. Remember, VAR is part of the equation here in this tournament. Adonai Escobedo and Katia Garcia are in the VAR room. Captains out to conduct the coin toss. It's Marvin Monterroza for Alianza, and the goalkeeper Andre Blake for Philadelphia. Now on the Alianza side, Juan Carlos Portillo and Alex Larin, 2 key starters for this club. Larin, typically the captain for this club. Both of those players were injured this weekend, as we now meet the VAR officials here, Adonai Escobedo and Katia Garcia. As I mentioned, 9 of the 11 today for Alianza were identical from over the weekend. The other 2 were injured in the first half, so 2 key players missing for Alianza. Totally different equation for Jim Curtin and the Philadelphia Union. Only 3 players in this starting 11 started back on Saturday. The goalkeeper Andre Blake, center back Jack Elliott, and left back Kai Wagner. Outside of that, 8 players rotated in, but the strength in this Philadelphia Union team lies in its depth. You can argue that they're the deepest team in Major League Soccer, and they have maybe 18, 19 capable starters to plug in for 11 spots on any given day. We'll see what the depth looks like as this match goes along. Their clear intent with this starting 11 is to try and steal a result, whether it's a 1-goal win or even be happy with the draw before they take it back home a week from tonight in leg number 2. Fireworks going overhead at Estadio Cuscatlan as the crowd is ready to send this match on its way. Cesar Ramos sets the watches. Just the second time Philadelphia has ever made it into this tournament. For Alianza, a 17th appearance in Concacaf Champions League. And we are underway in San Salvador. Philadelphia from right to left in the blue, Alianza from left to right in the white. Joe Malfa on hand for the action this evening at Estadio Cuscatlan. Happy to be with you. Philadelphia in 2021 made their first foray into CONCACAF competition. A club that was founded 15 years ago, began playing 13 years ago. And their maiden voyage in 2021 was a rather successful one. They started it off with some domination over Deportivo Saprissa, 5-0 on aggregate in the round of 16. And then a date with fellow MLS team Atlanta United in the quarterfinal, which they took 4-1 on aggregate. They met their match in the semifinal. They fell to Club America 4-0 on aggregate. Alianza back into this tournament for the first time since 2020. 17th appearance overall, and none were more successful than their first ever appearance in this tournament. Came all the way back in 1967, back when it was the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and Alianza lifted the trophy on that occasion in 1967. Jim Curtin at the helm for a better part of a decade now for Philadelphia. Widely regarded as one of the best in Major League Soccer. And they're off to the races here. Quinn Sullivan wanted the pass slip through from Joaquin Torres. Two members of this attacking trio for Philadelphia that will have their work cut out for them tonight. A chance to prove themselves. The third member of the trio being Chris Donovan. Such a deadly attacking trio they pose on a given day with Michael Ua, Julian Carranza, and Daniel Gazdag. All of them are on the bench and available if need be. I imagine Jim Curtin would like to rest them if possible, if the 11 out there can do their part in earning a result tonight. For Alianza, try to take a page out of Violette's book, what they did earlier tonight. The team from Haiti, it's official now, a 3-0 victory over Austin FC of MLS. And it's going to be quite the mountain to climb for Austin next week when they return home. Here's Jack McGlynn, very young starting 11 for Philadelphia. A couple of teenagers gracing the lineup, Jack McGlynn being one of them, Quinn Sullivan the other. Here's Damian Lowe clearing it out of play, making his Philadelphia debut. A well-traveled center back. Monterosa holding up the play on Perea. Marvin Monterosa swings it into space. Now it's Isaac Portillo. Ahead for Oscar Rodriguez, who commits the foul on Kai Wagner. Oscar Rodriguez, one of the elder statesmen in the lineup for Alianza, very experienced player. 220 appearances in his career in El Salvador. More than half of that time spent with Alianza since he joined the club in 2019. Here is McGlynn. Jack McGlynn, the 19-year-old, has been a part of the Philadelphia Union system since 2019. No stranger to going on the road in Central America. Was part of the United States U20 side in last summer's CONCACAF Men's Under-20 Championship. And McGlynn Played 7 matches with 2 goals for a team that ultimately lived for the trophy and is on its way to the World Cup in May. First touch of the ball here for Mario Gonzalez. He has a stellar record for Alianza since taking over as the goalkeeper in 2020. This is his 93rd appearance in all competitions. He has allowed 0.78 goals per game, and he has 39 clean sheets in those 92 matches. He's in particularly strong form this season. Alianza, through their 9 matches played, I mentioned earlier they're undefeated with 5 wins and 4 draws. But they've been stellar defensively. 7 of the 9 matches have been clean sheets, as Marvin Monterroza commits the foul. 7 clean sheets and only 2 goals allowed in 9 matches for Alianza. So you have Jim Curtin's young trio in the attack. 23-year-old Jesus Bueno, 22-year-old Chris Donovan, and 18-year-old Quinn Sullivan can crack the code of this Alianza back line. Jack Elliott wins possession back for Damian Lowe. Damian Lowe is regarded as a very strong distributor out of the back, but plays that one to no one in particular. Gives it away here in his Philadelphia debut. Very well-traveled center back, 29 years of age, from Jamaica. Has 50 caps for Jamaica, so some familiarity with his goalkeeper, of course. Andre Blake, a longtime goalkeeper for Jamaica. Jesus Bueno. Now Nathan Harriel, another youngster in this 11 for Philadelphia. He's just 21 years of age. Quinn Sullivan turns 19 at the end of the month. Nearly gave possession away. Harriel taken down. Possession won cleanly. Strong play there by Michel Mercado. Michel Mercado has been with Alianza since 2020. Off to a hot start. 5 goals in 8 matches so far in the Clausura phase of the season. Orellana. 55 caps for El Salvador. Narciso Orellana will control things in the midfield for this club. Ball whipped in off the knee awkwardly of Jack Elliott. He's able to manage. Launched ahead to Donovan. Chris Donovan almost found a way through. Cleared away by Camilo Mancia. This year is Chris Donovan's first chance to shine among the first team for Philadelphia. Spent last year with their second team in 3rd Division MLS Next Pro. Made an impact, 8 goals in 21 games for the striker Chris Donovan. Earned him a larger contract last July. Ended up making 6 appearances down the stretch of the season for the first team. Expected to factor in a bit more often this year. Lowe sends it ahead. Not along by Donovan, but out of play. William Canales under some pressure. Launches it across midfield. Wagner. Right back where the throw-in came from. Sullivan gaining position as it come off the heel of the boot. Well done by the 18-year-old to keep it in. Sullivan picks his man in the middle. It's Torres. Joaquin Torres in tight quarters. Finds some space at the end line. His ball headed away. And now Rodriguez can clear it further away. No questioning the pedigree of this Alianza team defensively. Just a matter of can they find a goal of their own going the other way against Philadelphia. Or as good as they've been in the first 9 matches of their season, Alianza. On the defensive side, with just those 2 goals allowed, they only have 7 goals scored in their last 7 matches. 1 goal per game for a team that's unbeaten. You'd expect a bit more. And on a night like this, if you're Jim Curtin in Philadelphia, you wouldn't mind a 1-0 loss. It's a road team in the first leg. If you can steal a victory, of course, that's a boon, but a draw is okay. A 1-0 loss is okay. And it's centrally and on toward Donovan. Gonzalez is there. So if Alianza isn't able to crack this back line and figure out their offensive woes, even though Philadelphia has rotated this squad heavily from this past weekend, still bodes well for the visitors. And it was a tough showing on Saturday for Philadelphia. They lost 2-0 against Inter Miami in the second match of their season in MLS. Season that just began a week and a half ago as the offside flag came up on Alianza. Philadelphia started the season strong, a 4-1 victory over Columbus Crew. Braces in that match by both Daniel Gazdag and Julian Carranza on the bench for the Union tonight, as we're 10 minutes into this one, and Estadio Cuscatlan still scoreless. Perhaps Jim Curtin has those two as they break glass in case of emergency, depending on how this game goes. They all did make the trip. They are all available, but not in the starting 11. First real surge forward here for Alianza. Hopeful from Marvin Monterroza. Just turned 32 4 days ago. The captain for this club has been with Alianza since 2017. Key starter for El Salvador in World Cup qualifying this past cycle. Interestingly enough, he hasn't had any call-ups since World Cup qualifying. Not in Nations League or for any friendlies. Alexis Renderos looking for the diagonal through the lines for Michel Mercado, and it's snuffed out by Jack Elliott. Good closeout by Damian Lowe to win the possession. Over the top to Sullivan. He heads it along to Donovan, who swings and misses. Now Sullivan puts it over the bar. It wasn't the prettiest buildup, and Sullivan's chance came after a swing and a miss by Donovan. But on a night like this, if you could steal at least 1 goal, you're in good shape. Ended up coming off the back of Donovan's right foot and setting up nicely for Sullivan. Mentioned before the tournament Jack McGlynn had for the US U20s last summer. Quinn Sullivan was maybe the player of the tournament. 7 appearances, 6 goals, 4 assists for the United States last summer, en route to that title at the U20 level here in Concacaf. And he was named tournament best 11. This Philadelphia Union side has produced some incredible young talent through the years. Brendan Aronson, Paxton Aronson, and many more. And Quinn Sullivan might be the brightest of the next wave. Torres a bit overeager. Commits the foul on Orellana. Narciso Orellana has played all but 1 minute of the season so far for Alianza, making his 25th appearance for the club in CONCACAF competition tonight. Of those 25, 8 have come in Champions League, 17 in CONCACAF League. Another chance for Donovan to spring forward. Chris Donovan cutting, lays it off. Torres, and it caught between the feet. Donovan has shown well through the first quarter of an hour. Jesus Bueno over the top. Long run to get there for Nathan Harriel, but he does. All the way across the field, hoping for Sullivan. It's fronted by Canales. And well done by William Canales to earn the goal kick out of that. Eduardo Lara took over November 17th of 2022, so it was shortly after their season had come to an end. Alianza made it all the way through to the quarterfinals of the last edition of Concacaf League, and their performance there is what earned them a spot here. All 4 semifinalists from the 2022 Concacaf League earned spots here in this tournament. It was the 4 semifinalists plus the 2 best quarterfinalists who were eliminated in the quarterfinal round. Those 2 teams being Alianza and Tauro FC of Panama, who you'll see tomorrow against Club Leon. 15 minutes gone. Wagner sends it toward the back post. It curls into play. Perea made a claim of handball as he played it off of Alexis Ronderos. Back for Harriel. Tried to slip it through to Bueno. Alianza a chance to break out. They've had the most of the possession. It's primarily been contained to their own half of the field as they were set to break out. Look where the ball ends up, forced all the way back. Now here's Canales. Nice move from Portillo. Ahead for Rodriguez. That ball is trickling out eventually. Alianza has had a very strong recent run domestically. Donovan nods it along. Around the keeper, goes down. And it's waved off by Cesar Ramos. Letting Chris Donovan know that he's got his eyes on him for what seemed to be a dive. Oh, no question about it. Mario Gonzalez did a good job of getting out there and not making contact. The crowd sensed it right away. Cesar Ramos sensed it right away. No call necessary. Alianza domestically of late have been on quite the run, a 6-year streak of lifting a trophy. Champions on the Apertura in 2017, 19, 20, and 21. And the Clausura filling in the gaps in there in 18 and 2022. 6 straight years in which they've lifted a trophy. The 2022 Clausura gave them access to Concacaf League last year, and their performance there got them here. Have not been in this tournament, Alianza, since 2020. They lost to Tigres by a score of 5-4 in the round of 16 as Wagner puts the ball through. Headed out for a corner kick. It'll be the first corner of the evening for Philadelphia. Wagner, a terrific distributor down that left flank for Philadelphia. 32 assists in 112 appearances in his MLS career since he joined the Union in 2019. And it is Wagner who will take the corner. Sent it toward the back post. An open header was there for Donovan, and he sent it sailing. Nobody came with him, lost his mark. Best opportunity of the night. For that matter, all of the good opportunities have belonged to Chris Donovan. Back to that 2020 round of 16 for Alianza. They had a lead on Tigres and lost in dramatic fashion. They were up 2-1 after winning the first leg at home, a result they'd hoped for again tonight. And then they were losing 3-2 on the road in the second leg which meant it was 4-4 on aggregate. And Alianza would have been going through on the away goals tiebreaker, but Tigres scored in the 94th minute. One of the final moments of stoppage time to go up 5-4 on aggregate and steal the quarterfinal berth away from Alianza. Free kick on the way for the home side. 20 minutes gone. Still scoreless on Estadio Cuscatlan. Joe Malfa with you for the action tonight in the first leg of the round of 16 between Alianza and the Philadelphia Union. The 29th meeting between a team from the United States and El Salvador in this competition. A decisive advantage for the United States, 18-7 with 3 draws. Rodolfo Zelaya has positioned this like a man who wants to strike it, despite how far away he is. Saw some fireworks pre-matches. There's some here. Zelaya does strike it, but right into the wall. Michel Mercado earns the throw for Alianza. Haven't seen much of Rodolfo Zelaya so far this season. Only 3 appearances in the Clausura phase with 1 goal. He was suspended 6 matches due to a red card. Monterosa finds Orellana with an overlap here from Canales. If there's somebody who might be a hero tonight for Alianza, you would imagine it is Rodolfo Zelaya. He leads the way with 6 goals in Concacaf competition for this club. It's sent towards Zelaya on the backside. Volley, well, very off balance for William Canales. Goes into the crowd. Philadelphia had it defended well. Would take quite the effort to score from that angle, especially on a goalkeeper of the caliber of Andre Blake. 3-time MLS goalkeeper of the year, 3-time MLS best 11. Back in 2017, the goalkeeper of the tournament with Jamaica in the Gold Cup when they made that surprise run to the final. Actually has some experience in this stadium, Andre Blake. 2 starts for Jamaica. 1 in CONCACAF Nations League qualifying and the other in World Cup qualifying. But the results are some you might not want to remember. A loss 2-0 and a 1-1 draw. Good first touch by Monterosa, but a better job cutting it off defensively by Jesus Bueno, and he drew the foul. Crowd continuing to file in and grow here at Estadio Cuscatlan, 23 minutes in. McGlynn ahead for Donovan. The flag stayed down for now. Donovan looking end line, and it's out for a goal kick. So far 3 shots to 2 in favor of Philadelphia. Only 1 shot on target in the match between both of these teams belongs to Philly. Came so close to winning MLS Cup last year, Philadelphia. They were ahead 3-2 on LAFC, and then Gareth Bale happened in stoppage time to make it 3-3. Philadelphia ultimately lost on penalties. Damian Lowe got back to his feet after a clash of the heads. Rodolfo Zelaya still slow to get up. Those two shake hands as Cesar Ramos calls them over for a chat. Damian Lowe in his Philadelphia debut. Spent 3 years in the Seattle Sounders organization. A couple of years in USL Championship, the second division in the United States. 3 years in Norway, 2 years in Egypt, before last year landing back in Major League Soccer with Inter Miami. Made 28 starts at center back. And through all his travels, 195 professional appearances, split now between 6 teams in 3 countries. And all the while forming a bond with his goalkeeper, Andre Blake. Blake, 64 caps for Jamaica. Damian Lowe, 50. So it might be a little bit of getting used to the rest of his teammates for Damian Lowe. And at least you had that connection as a center back to your goalkeeper from your days together with the Reggae Boys. Monterroza seemingly showing up everywhere with the ball. Jim Curtin spoke before the match about weathering the early storm. I'd say that mission has been accomplished. So often you talk about the first 15, 20 minutes in a match like this. Can the host team feed off the energy of the crowd, get on the board? Instead, it's been Philadelphia who have had the better, more dangerous scoring opportunities. That could change here on the counter. Orellana lets it run over his head. Can he play the ball back the other way? Slips it through towards Zelaya, who goes down, loose in the box. Here's Alianza's save made by Andre Blake. First time he's had to do that tonight. And a very late offside flag would have negated that from Michel Mercado anyway. See where that offside might have come. Right there. Zelaya came back for the ball. Perhaps a warning shot in Philadelphia. And this team can spring to life on the counterattack at any moment. No way to know whether or not word of the earlier match tonight between Violette and Austin FC circulated among the Philadelphia dressing room. But if it did, it should serve as a warning. You cannot take a match like this lightly. Austin rotated the squad heavily. Perhaps regret it. Philadelphia, 9 different starters from the team that took the field this past Saturday. Excuse me, 8 different starters from Saturday to today. But still a very deep team and still a very solid starting 11 tonight. Arguably the deepest team in MLS. Long toss by Nathan Harriel. McGlynn takes it down centrally. Oh, he had more time and space to take a touch. Tried to pop it over the top to Quinn Sullivan and gives it away. Eduardo Lara in the ear of the 4th official. Don't think he was happy with the non-call against McGlynn as he won the ball in the middle of the park. Rather short-lived stay for Alianza in the last edition of Concacaf League. They coasted through their first round against Verdes of Belize, 7-1 on aggregate. But then Alajuelense of Costa Rica dominated their quarterfinal tie. Sent Alianza packing, but they did well enough in the overall leaderboard among the quarterfinalists to punch a ticket to this tournament. Nifty pass inside from Rodriguez to Orellana. Now fed out wide for Renderos. Andres Perea out there to defend, and he wins it. Perea, a new addition on this Philadelphia roster, came over from Orlando City, who you can find later tonight taking on Tigres. Orlando City won the U.S. Open Cup to earn a bid into this tournament this year. Play on, says the referee. Monterrosa swings the ball in. Damian Lowe gets there just before Adolfo Zelaya does. Half an hour into this one, Alianza threatening. Monterrosa. Oscar Rodriguez, a glance back to see how close he was to the sideline. And now it's back for William Canales. Rodriguez. A steady central midfielder, Rodriguez, for this club. And here's Monterrosa. You just saw him down near his left back to win a ball. Here he is on the right wing to help this attack for Alianza. Played over the top towards Zelaya, headed down by Lowe. And it's kept in and out for a corner by Alianza. Well done down that left side by Michel Mercado. Seemed right here like he had lost it for a goal kick. Played it off the face of Damian Lowe. And the first corner kick of the evening now for the home side. Mercado swerves it in. Blake punches away, not very securely. And now Harriel able to knot it out for a throw and taken quickly to Mercado. Nice turn by Monterrosa, shielded off Harriel. Monterrosa had it blocked, and it will be a corner. There was some contact at the edge of the area away from the ball. And there was also a shout of handball against Philadelphia, which if that occurred in the box, it could be looked at, and perhaps Cesar Ramos is talking in the headset to the VAR room, telling them to hold up here on the free kick. Let's have a look. There was the contact in the area, and there's the handball. So the handball cannot be reviewed. It was out of the box, but the contact at the top corner of the box can be reviewed for a possible penalty. And that might be what Alianza was arguing for. Doesn't look like they're going to win that argument. Ready to take the free kick. Narciso Orellana standing over this free kick. Don't know that he'd try a shot from here unless he wanted to surprise Andre Blake at his near post. Orellana sends it in, punched away by Blake. Missed clearance, almost put Philadelphia in a bad spot. Sullivan helps get it further away, and now they break out. Joaquin Torres leading the charge. Donovan trying to join him. Torres had it knocked away on a terrific defensive play by Alexis Renderos. And now Renderos takes his space. Renderos ahead towards Zelaya, almost got it beyond Damian Lowe, who couldn't do anything but knock it out for a corner. Pressure mounting now from Alianza. Taken quickly. Trying to catch Philadelphia off guard. But the Union holds strong. Orellana. That ball did just make its way over the line for a Philadelphia throw. There's a full week of action in Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. Earlier tonight, Violette 3-0 at home over Austin FC in the first leg. Now this game here, followed by Tigres and Orlando later tonight. Tomorrow, 3 more games. Tauro against Club Leon, Olympia against Atlas, and Vancouver Whitecaps against Real España. And then the action for the week concludes on Thursday when Motagua takes on Pachuca and Alajuelense takes on LAFC. Just 10 minutes to play here in half number 1 of the first leg between Alianza and Philadelphia in this round of 16. An even affair so far. Both sides owning a couple of promising attacks that didn't really yield dangerous chances. A Quinn Sullivan volley from the edge of the area that went a couple of yards over the bar. And then a free header on a corner kick by Chris Donovan that also went a couple of yards over the bar. The 2 best chances for Philadelphia. Just a 1 shot on target from Alianza on a counterattack by Rodolfo Zelaya. Taken off the chest by Sullivan, and then he's taken out. Just a throw in here for Philadelphia. Good strong defensive play by Henry Romero, the left center back, who came all the way over to defend Sullivan. And Kai Wagner is gearing up for what seems to be a long toss into the box, waving everybody forward. Take a running start and launch this toward the top of the 6. Gets it to the desired location. And it almost made its way through to Sullivan. Here is Sullivan. Just over the line, throw in for Alianza. Ooh, not by much. It just came up short. Philadelphia from winning MLS Cup last year. Lost on penalties to LAFC. They won the Eastern Conference, which gave them a second trophy in their club history. 2022 Eastern Conference Championship to go with the 2020 Supporters Shield. It's the top team in the league. Here's Perea. It's interesting when a team like Philadelphia leaves the bounds of MLS and enters a competition like this. Among the MLS ranks, verging on 30 years of MLS play. Not quite there yet, but on the way. Among MLS ranks, they're among the older guard. Not quite old, but 15 years ago founded, 13 years ago started playing in a rapidly growing league and an ever-changing landscape. In the minds of many, they are part of that old guard. They didn't last too long as the new kids on the block with the rapid expansion the league has undergone. But then you come into a tournament like this and you are neophytes compared to a team like Alianza, around for 64 years. Henry Romero back for his center back partner Camilo Mancia. Over the top for Canales. He mishits it and gives it away to Sullivan. Can they turn this around quickly? Torres looking back for Sullivan and gave it away. They were given a gift by William Canales. And a handball here against Monterrosa negates what would have been a promising counter the other way. And that is this first half in a nutshell. Attacks that are verging on promising, that were never seen to fruition. Diagonal from Wagner. Donovan rises above the rest to meet it. Rodriguez for Monterrosa, head on a swivel, looking up to pick out that next ball. Looking long toward Rodolfo Zelaya. And intercepted by Philadelphia. Rodolfo Zelaya, the talisman for this Alianza club. Trying to find him a bit more often as this game goes along. Always lurking in the right spot at the right time atop the lines. Here's Mercado. Michel Mercado. Running tightly by Nathan Harriel, forces it back for Renderos. Rodolfo Zelaya started his career with Alianza back in 2013. Spent 6 years with the club, did the striker, before he moved on to LAFC in Major League Soccer, and then Club Celaya in Liga MX. Those 2 years did not bear any fruit for Zelaya. First yellow card of the match issued here to Jesus Bueno. The 34-year-old striker Rodolfo Zelaya with one good opportunity already tonight. After those 2 brief stints at LAFC and Club Celaya, rejoined Alianza in 2020. Here are his numbers, both with and away from Alianza. Away from Alianza, 14 appearances and 3 goals over 2 years with LAFC and Celaya. Again, 14 appearances, 3 goals. With Alianza, 196 matches played, 104 goals. A lethal scorer when it comes to wearing an Alianza kit. The same goes for his nation's colors. Played 49 games for El Salvador in an international career that spanned 2008 to 2019 and scored 22 goals. Over the top here toward Pereira, just out of his reach. Quiet first half for Mario Gonzalez, rolls it up the left side for Alexis Renderos. Narciso Orellana. And that ball was just out of play. A couple of close calls down that side of the field. Nifty moves, both were ruled out of play. One for Mercado, one for Quinn Sullivan. So consistent. Nathan Harriel looks like he wants to gear up for a long throw now. We just saw Kai Wagner try one from the other side of the field. A little bit more difficult on this side for Harriel. Does not have quite the same runway. Still gets it to the top of the 6. Still a couple of minutes remaining for some drastic alteration to the scoreline. So far, you'd have to imagine Philadelphia is happy with the way this first half has played out. They rotated 8 players from their starting 11 from Saturday. On the road, hostile environment in the first leg of this round of 16 tie. Jim Curtin talked about weathering the early storm. That they did. A match that has largely been played in the middle third of the field. Neither side with many grade A opportunities offensively. And as the road team in the first leg of a tie like this, 0-0 is music to your ears. Perhaps second half you decide to go for it, bring on some of your big guns offensively. Here's Pereira as his shot blocked. The longer this stays 0-0, the more it favors Philadelphia. And if they're able to poach a road goal, forget about it. That's the cherry on top. Here's Sullivan weaving his way through. Pereira's shot deflected. Corner on the way for Philadelphia. In the dying embers of this first half, can't imagine there will be more than just the basic 1 minute of stoppage time here in this half. So a final opportunity perhaps coming on this corner. Haven't had any lengthy stoppages. Expect this number to be 1 or 2 at most. Their one last chance here for the visiting side. Corner curled in, punched away by Gonzalez. Counter here for Alianza. Monterosa chased down by Damian Lowe. And no stoppage time. There is your final whistle here in half number 1. Alianza 0, Philadelphia 0. 45 down, 45 to go in the first leg of their round of 16 tie in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. players have taken the field to begin half number 2 here in the first leg of the round of 16 in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League matchup between the Philadelphia Union on the road against the homestanding Alianza FC. First half, that was a bit of a chess match between these two teams. Philadelphia with a heavily rotated squad. Alianza with all the usual suspects. Played to an absolute dead heat. Nearly every statistical category was split right down the middle. Most decided advantage belongs to Alianza in possession, 56-44. Outside of that, mirror image of each other in half number 1. Joe Malfa with you for the action tonight. Waiting on the whistle of Cesar Ramos to send us on our way in half number 2. Will it produce a winner, or will it be a hard-earned road draw in leg number 1 for Philadelphia? And away we go. Alianza from right to left in the white. Philadelphia left to right in the blue. The first 15 minutes of the first half, where we saw most of the action concentrated to. Torres to Pereira, early attack for Philadelphia. And just like that, it disappears. First 15 minutes of that first half saw some action end to end, some open spaces. After that, both teams settled into rhythm, settled into shells, and there's not much to speak of. As we showed you, 6 shots in the first half, 3 each. 5 of those 6 came in the first 20 minutes of that first half. Sent long by Mario Gonzalez, won by Philadelphia. Donovan battling for the ball, and he commits the foul. Conferring, the referees end up making the call against Alianza, so well done by Donovan to draw the free kick, and now perhaps an opportunity here for Philadelphia to send in a dangerous ball. They have a very hefty height advantage on these set pieces tonight, particularly Jack Elliott, Damian Lowe, and Chris Donovan. Served up by Kai Wagner, and it will be a corner coming now. Wagner drives it near post, loose in the middle, and cleared. Foul against Philadelphia. See if set pieces can be a deciding factor tonight for Philadelphia. A couple of times they've lost their marks and had free opportunities. None better than Chris Donovan on the corner in the first half. Renderos sends it long. Monterosa lost it off the chest. So much of this Philadelphia roster has experience in this tournament from 2 years ago. Well, most of that experience is concentrated to the players making up tonight's bench. When it comes to the starting 11, Jack Elliott, Andre Blake, Quinn Sullivan have some experience in this tournament. Blake and Elliott a lot more than Sullivan, who just saw 3 appearances off the bench as a newly minted 17-year-old back in 2021. See as this half goes along if Jim Curtin decides to go for it. Bring on some of the big guns, some of the experienced players. If it's still a scoreless game, to at the very least push the draw across the finish line, perhaps steal a road victory. Nice interplay here for Alianza. That last piece of the puzzle still missing. Zelaya put a good ball through. And then William Canales just lost it at the last step. Jim Curtin, a very highly regarded coach in Major League Soccer. His name even recently came up in the rumors swirling around who may fill the U.S. men's national team head coaching vacancy. And so far, it seems like he has charted the right course and rotating heavily the starting 11 from what we saw over the weekend. Long toss over the head of Donovan. Very deep team, Philadelphia. Players out there have done all they can so far to hang right there with what you would call Alianza's A team for sure. And if they can hand it off around the hour mark or the 70-minute mark to some of the Philadelphia A team players, maybe they do steal this tonight. Sullivan cleared away by Mercado. Now Monterroza dispossessed by Harriel, but it makes its way out to Zelaya while Monterroza stays on the ground. Gets back to his feet. Alianza won the first leg of their tie against Tigres 2-1 back in this tournament 3 years ago on this very field. In dramatic fashion, they were sent packing after the second leg, losing 5-4 on aggregate on a goal scored in the 94th minute by Tigres. Given away. Torres battling for it. Now Donovan moves it along to Harriel. Harriel over the top and over the head of Quinn Sullivan. Alianza plays at home this coming Saturday against Dragon in league play, hoping to remain unbeaten. Good turn by Sullivan here to the end line. Tried to work it back to Donovan. A result this Saturday would push Alianza to 10 matches unbeaten to begin the Clausura phase. Philadelphia this weekend home against Chicago Fire in Major League Soccer. Joaquin Torres has it bound off of him to Sullivan, put it over the bar. Very fortunate bounce for Philadelphia. Don't know how much intent was behind that from Torres as he pinched into the ball. Oh, none at all. Looking at it on replay. The clearance attempt as he was going for it with his right foot. Ultimately bounded off his left knee and into the path of Sullivan. Goalkeeping by Mario Gonzalez to come out and rush the shot on the bouncing ball. Get the sense it might take a moment like that in this game for a goal to be yielded. After one is scored, perhaps it opens up a little bit more and we see additional tallies. But for now, it's going to take something either remarkable or something of a blunder, it appears, for either of these teams to get on the score sheet. That ball slipped through to Mercado. Michel Mercado on Harriel, plays it in towards Zelaya. First touch good, laid it back for Monterrosa. And poked away by Jesus Bueno, who has to be careful on a yellow card. Only yellow card still issued so far in this match belongs to Jesus Bueno. In the number 20 kit for Philadelphia as the holding midfielder. Drive from distance is well off target. Just about 10 minutes gone here in half number 2, and so far looking like more of the same from half number 1. Philadelphia, as the visitors, would be content with this result holding for another 35 minutes. Ball would be in their court in the second leg, but with speed here, it's Mercado past Damian Lowe. All of a sudden, some life offensively for Alianza, and a corner kick on the way. Eduardo Lara has been working the fourth official quite a bit tonight. Daniel Quintero is the fourth official. I think he took too kindly to look to be a stray hand to the face of Monterrosa. From the corner, nodded away by Damian Lowe. Throw taken quickly and worked all the way to the back line for Henry Romero. Monterrosa cuts in, finds a cross. Damian Lowe gets there. Monterrosa again. Damian Lowe again to steer it away. At what point will either of these two managers dip into the bench? Maybe give this game the jolt it needs. On that note, it is a very short bench for Alianza here tonight. They have only 5 outfield players in addition to a goalkeeper. Full allotment on the bench for Philadelphia. 11 outfield players, 10 outfield players and 2 goalkeepers. So they have all of the depth they need. If Alianza were to use all 5 substitutions at their disposal, it would be the entirety of their bench. Missing Juan Portillo and Alex Larin due to injury. They were both subbed off in the first half of their match on Saturday with injuries. Here's Perea. Out wide to Wagner. Kai Wagner. Here's Torres. Punched away by Gonzalez. Sent back in towards Sullivan and cleared out for a corner. Save of the match so far for Mario Gonzalez. Plucked it out of the bottom corner. A sure goal for Joaquin Torres. '26-year-old Joaquin Torres was acquired in a trade with Montreal CF back in January. From the corner, it's loose after it was misplayed by Gonzalez. Joaquin Torres, 2 appearances off the bench so far in regular season play for Philadelphia with 1 assist. And Torres does somehow have experience in this tournament. It came with Montreal last year. Made 4 starts for Montreal before they were eliminated by Cruz Azul in the quarterfinal of the 2022 Concacaf Champions League. Nice movement from Alianza, and the ball's quickly onto Andre Blake, but he makes the save. Whenever Alianza have found some space in this second half, it's come down that right side, in behind Kai Wagner. Another nice give and go there between Zelaya and Isaac Portillo. Shots an even 5-5 for both teams. 2 of the 5 on target for both teams. Still nothing on the score sheet as the clock reads 60. Hour gone, half hour remains here at Estadio Cuscatlan in San Salvador, El Salvador. Joe Malfa with you for the first leg of the round of 16 tie between Alianza and Philadelphia here in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. 2 changes on the way for Philadelphia, and this is maybe exactly how Jim Curtin drew it up. Have this heavily rotated side get you through an hour, and then with 30 minutes to go, bring on your big guns. Julian Carranza, Daniel Gazdag getting ready to check in for the Union. 2 goals each for those 2 players through 2 matches this regular season. See when they are beckoned on. Getting final instructions from Jim Curtin. Ahead to Sullivan. Here's Sullivan. Pereira curls it toward the back post where Donovan was rising to meet it. The ball never made its way through. Jose Martinez also getting ready now for Philadelphia. Oh, you see a trio of changes. Harriel, flag stays down. Nathan Harriel overcooked it. And here come those changes for Philadelphia. That'll be it for Joaquin Torres, as Daniel Gazdag will check in. When Sullivan's evening will also end as Julian Carranza checks in. And Jesus Bueno will depart for Jose Martinez. Three of the regulars for Philadelphia, 3 players who started this past Saturday. 3 players who are a driving force behind the success Philadelphia has had over the last couple of seasons in Major League Soccer. Now out there with 27 minutes to go to see if they can steal this one. Not just a draw, but find a way to take 3 points in the victory back to Philadelphia. A week from tonight, they will meet in Philadelphia. Both teams have a league match on Saturday between now and then. It'll be interesting to monitor what sort of rotation is made this coming Saturday for both of these teams. Alianza, of course, further into its season. A season that's 9 matches old, and they're still unbeaten. They don't have as deep of a roster as Philadelphia. Don't imagine that Eduardo Lara can take as many liberties in preparing for next Tuesday's bout. On the flip side, Jim Curtin will only be playing his third match of the season for Philadelphia. Can maybe take some more risks. Pereira back for Martinez, through for Carranza. Give and go in the middle toward Carranza. Off the foot of Donovan. And a yellow card to Damian Lowe, who has no argument. Pats the referee, Cesar Ramos on the back, and checks in on the player he fouled. Threw it right away. In from behind and just took out the back leg of Rodolfo Zelaya. Daniel Gazdag just turned 27 a couple of days ago. Attacking midfielder for Philadelphia, coming off his best career season. The Hungarian international scored 22 goals with 10 assists in 34 matches for Philadelphia last season, earning MLS Best 11 honors in 2022. And Julian Carranza, the 22-year-old from Argentina, coming off his best career season. He had 14 goals in 28 starts for the Union last year. Started the season on loan from Inter Miami, as they just had to offload players due to some financial sanctions that were levied their way. So Philadelphia said thank you very much, picked up Carranza, turned a short-term loan into a full-time purchase in July, and they have not looked back. He has been a fixture in the lineup. And it's flicked his way. Those two who just came on, Gazdag and Carranza, combined for 36 goals in 34 matches last season. Here's Carranza. Don't mean to shortchange the third player who joined the fold there as well, Jose Martinez, who wins the ball now with Jack Elliott. The Venezuelan international, nicknamed El Brujo, the Wizard. 20 caps for Venezuela internationally. In 11 starts, Jose Martinez in World Cup qualifying, but did not make the World Cup roster for Venezuela. Just gives you a sense of the talent Philadelphia just brought onto the field with that triple substitution. In a seemingly no-lose situation right now. They've controlled much of the play. You get the growing sense that if there is a goal in this match, it's going to go Philadelphia's way. And if for some reason things turn the other way and Alianza poached one, 1-0 is not the worst result in the world on the road in leg number 1. You still feel like going into that second leg at home that you have the hammer and you can be the one to go through. And we have seen some wild comebacks in this tournament historically for a team after losing the first leg. That's what Austin FC is going to need next week after they lost to the Elite earlier tonight. There is a dog on the field. That's why the cheers are ringing up from the crowd. And he got to the ball. Well, we might need a new one. That one might be short-lived if you get a tooth on it. Well, if you had that on your bingo card for the evening, you can go ahead and cover that spot up. The 12th player on the field for Alianza is escorted off the pitch. Gazdag Out in front of Donovan, joined by Carranza. He's taken down. Looked like a clean challenge, and that's what Cesar Ramos, the referee, saw as well. Alianza dealing with the waves of pressure now from Philadelphia, who are growing ever more into this game with 20 minutes to go. Get the sense that it's going to have to be a counter for Alianza. They're not seeing the same levels of possession they saw in half number one. And this is heating up just a bit here. No history between these two teams, first ever meeting. But they're creating some history here. And a bit of a skirmish that might be in the back of their minds as this game grows older and we get into next week. Here's the challenge that started it from Martinez. Last challenge on the other end by Romero. Perfectly executed, and it had to be perfect in the edge of the area like that. Dispossessing Chris Donovan, who has acquitted himself well this evening. Donovan made 6 appearances, just 1 start, a grand total of 104 minutes last season for the Union. 22-year-old striker. Mario Gonzalez sends it across the halfway line. The massive save he made now about 10 minutes ago kept it scoreless, robbing Joaquin Torres of what seemed to be a sure goal. Here's Mercado, flag stayed down. Harriel out to defend and wins it clean. About a half an hour away from kickoff between Orlando City and Tigres. That is in Mexico, the first leg. Third and final game of the day. Third of 8 matches across 3 days here in Concacaf Champions League. Back at it with another 3 tomorrow and 2 more on Thursday. Carranza all by himself. Didn't have any help from the teammates, had to do it alone. Still battling for it to try to win something out of this. And he did win the throw-in. That is good work on the high press by Julian Carranza. Didn't have another blue jersey in sight, but his hard work won them the ball back. Advantage played here by Cesar Ramos. Chipped over the top toward Gazdag. Alianza throw coming. Donovan flicks it into the path of Carranza. Such a strong aerial presence, Donovan. Here's Gazdag out wide to the far post where Carranza nearly acrobatically got a foot to it. It's mounting for Philadelphia. All alone was Jack McGlynn on that left side. McGlynn lets it go. Hopeful effort from the teenager, who has very quickly become a preferred choice despite his youth for Jim Curtin. Jack McGlynn, already 73 professional appearances at age 19, between his MLS appearances and his matches in the second and third divisions on the U.S. soccer pyramid, all in the Philadelphia organization. McGlynn has also been trusted in the big moments by Jim Curtin. None bigger than the MLS Cup final last year. The 19-year-old started and went 84 minutes in what turned out to be a loss on penalties against LAFC. Monterozza. If Alianza were to find one now, it would certainly be against the grain. The last 20 minutes or so of this match have been totally controlled by Philadelphia, with a quarter of an hour remaining here at Estadio Cuscatlan. Nil-nil would be a perfectly fine result in the eyes of Philadelphia. Might feel like a loss in the eyes of Alianza. That is how things play out over the next 14 minutes plus stoppage time. Especially considering what we saw earlier tonight. Austin FC going on the road and losing 3-0 in one of the upsets of recent memory in this tournament. Miguel Murillo getting ready to enter for Alianza. Eduardo Lara held on to all of his subs for 76 minutes. Finally make his first. We're hearing it'll be for Oscar Rodriguez. And that is a very attacking-minded change if that is what comes to pass. Oscar Rodriguez, a defensive midfielder. Murillo, an out-and-out attacking winger. Shows you where Lara's mind might be at. Needing to find something offensively in a second half that has seen them lifeless in the attacking third. But to their credit, they have been terrific defensively, Alianza. That has been their calling card so far this season in the Clausura phase of their season. And that is the change we will see. Rodriguez out, Murillo in. Through 9 matches so far in the Clausura, 5 wins, 4 draws, 19 points, unbeaten. Alianza. Defensively, 7 of the 9 matches have produced clean sheets. They've only allowed 2 goals in the 9 matches. Conversely, after starting the season with a bang, back-to-back 3-0 victories, they have only produced 7 goals in the next 7 matches. So 6 goals in the first 2 games, 7 in the ensuing 7. That's how tonight has gone. Strong defensively, not much to speak of offensively. And if you're Philadelphia, if you can go ahead and earn a victory here, it would do you a world of good. Because there is no guarantee you're going to go home next week and find a way to crack the code of this Alianza defense. You'd fancy your chances certainly at home. No guarantee. Leon Flock will enter for Jack McGlynn. Attendance came across as 6,000 tonight for Alianza, make it 6,001 if we're including the furry friend that made his way onto the pitch about 10 minutes ago. Those 6,000 would love to erupt for a goal. Here's some space. Mercado fronted by Harriel. Tried to go quickly, but that space closed so fast. Canales. Here's Leon Flock, his first involvement. Harriel did just enough to slow it down, but here's Mercado, finds the right pass across. Canales couldn't do anything with it. Tried to stop on a dive at the end line and get the ball centered. And just ran out of room as he had the ball caught between his feet. Tell you what, the header from Harriel might have actually worked to his detriment. Had he let that go, it might have sailed long out for a goal kick or a throw-in, depending on the angle it took after the first bounce. But the header that he got on it put it right into the path of Mercado and started that whole chain of events for Alianza. Mercado looking ahead. First ball forward to Miguel Murillo. And sealed it out for a goal kick. Well done by Damian Lowe, who, remember, is on a yellow card. Ariel guides it away. It was 3-3 on shots between these teams at halftime. Philadelphia have found 3 more in this second half. Just 2 more for Alianza in a second half that has largely mirrored the first half. The lone discrepancy being the possession advantage. First half, it was 56-44 in the favor of Alianza. Philadelphia in this second half has walked that all the way down to 53-47. Everything else has remained even across the board. And most importantly, even and scoreless in the upper left of your screen. course of a regular season domestically, 0-0 goes by the wayside as a rather forgettable evening. One of 20 or 30 plus matches, depending on the size of the league. But in a tournament like this, 0-0 is a very positive result for the visitors in a first leg, and one that will have left the home side upset at the way things went, if that is indeed how this finishes. Because then next Tuesday, everything shifts. It's Philadelphia at home in front of what could be a raucous crowd, the great support they get in Philadelphia. You expect to have all the big guns who maybe subbed on in the last 20-30 minutes tonight starting that one. Played centrally toward Perea. And in that setup could be a very different result, especially when you factor in the fatigue that may fall upon Alianza. A much shallower roster right now, dealing with some key injuries. Tonight starting 9 of the 11 they started on Saturday. Ball played in early by Gazdag and cleared. On the flip side, Philadelphia were able to rotate 8 players and not miss much. We'll see how they handle Saturday, but then Tuesday you expect the A team to go ahead and get through to the quarterfinal. Second ever appearance in this tournament for Philadelphia, 2021, their inaugural voyage. Made it all the way to the semifinal before falling 4-0 in aggregate to Club America. You know they want to get back there. You know they want to improve upon that semifinal result. And you know they have the tools to do it. Philadelphia readying their 5th and final substitution. It'll be their heart and soul, their eldest statesman, Alejandro Bedoya. On his way in for Andres Perea. The 35-year-old Alejandro Bedoya. 424 professional appearances as he steps between the lines tonight. With 59 goals, 47 assists. Had 2 stints in Sweden for a grand total of 5 years. A year in Scotland with Rangers. 3 years, excuse me, in France before joining Philadelphia in 2016. Alejandro Bedoya, 66 caps for the U.S. men's national team, including 3 starts at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. One last late change for Jim Curtin to see if a difference can be made, a goal can be stolen, and a win can be stolen. But would certainly travel home tonight to Philadelphia happy with a scoreless result, knowing they control the tie then in the return leg at home next Tuesday night. Here's Bedoya. Back for Gazdag. Daniel Gazdag inside to Chris Donovan, who opens up and finds Leon Flock, but it's cut out. Now Jose Martinez through to Bedoya. As bodies located centrally. Overlap to Harriel. Nathan Harriel on the ground and almost trickles in off the leg of Mario Gonzalez. Gonzalez might have overplayed the cross. Would have been a nightmare if that ball bounced about, let's see, 6 inches further to the left. Wagner's corner. way back out to him. A secondary ball in. Carranza. In the 90th minute now, Carranza headed away. Bedoya, first touch too heavy, lost it. Philadelphia has used all 5 subs. Alianza now just readying a second. Shows you the depth for one team, the lack of for the other. And that is, again, what may play a big factor next Tuesday. These teams are playing on 72 hours rest tonight, as they will be next week as well. Both play Saturday in their respective leagues and Tuesday in the second leg. Philadelphia has the luxury to rotate. Alianza does not. That's rotation between matches and rotation within matches. Here we are in minute 90, and just a second sub of the night as Emerson Hernandez checks in. That's it for Michel Mercado. Eduardo Lara now hoping to keep this a scoreless draw, bringing on an extra defender at the expense of a striker. So with 4 minutes of stoppage time, Lara sees how this is going. He knows a goal may not be in the cards for his side tonight, and you can ill afford to turn this into a loss at home. Extra defender on, striker taken off. And a foul against Philadelphia. 15 minutes from kickoff in the third and final game of the evening. Orlando City of Major League Soccer on the road against Tigres of Liga MX. Earlier tonight, Violet of Haiti took down Austin FC of Major League Soccer 3-0. Tomorrow, Tauro of Panama takes on Club Leon of Liga MX. Olympia of Honduras takes on Atlas of Liga MX. And Vancouver Whitecaps of Major League Soccer take on Real España of Honduras. Your triple header tomorrow here in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. Chris Donovan turns up into space and left the ball behind. Writing has seemingly been on the wall for this one for quite a while. We might have been on the way to a 0-0 finish. And now just 120 seconds away from that being the case. Would be a positive result for Philadelphia. An underwhelming result for Alianza. On paper, coming into the tie, you would have pegged Philadelphia as the favorite. But by no means should that or would that have intimidated Alianza. Just look back 3 years ago to their last appearance in this tournament. On paper, you would have called them massive underdogs against Tigres as well, but they won 2-1 at home in the first leg, and now they have a free kick. See if they can steal this on their own behalf late on here. Could be a last opportunity here for Alianza in the final minute of stoppage time. On the free kick, a driven ball well off target. Ambitious. And on a night like this, you figure maybe you just give it a go. Hope for the best. Hope for a moment of brilliance. But it was always going off target. Rodolfo Zelaya makes his way off the field. A very brief cameo here for Emerson Mauricio. And there is the final whistle. It started 0-0. It finishes 0-0. Alianza and Philadelphia scoreless in their first leg. A week from tonight, they'll meet in the second leg here in their round of 16 tie in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. That'll do it for us tonight. For the crew at home and abroad that makes this possible, from Estadio Cuscatlan in San Salvador, El Salvador, I'm Joe Malfa saying good night, and join us next week for the second leg between Alianza and Philadelphia.